Hello everyone, I'm with my guy Luigi and we're just about to go through everything in one of his projects. Let's get into it. Okay, so my first question is, what 3 words best describe your personality?
Oh gosh. Right, let me think. Right, 3 words to describe my personality off the top of my head. I would say driven, weirdo, secret weirdo. I'd say excited about life.
You know, that's amazing, bro. So tell me, I know you've done quite a lot of things. I know you come from humble beginnings, but tell me a little bit about your property journey. How was it? What was the experience?
Well, it's been up and down. It's been overall really good. It's been life changing. But I think if I could do it all again, yeah, I would. I've made some mistakes, but I don't have any regrets at the same time, because the mistakes I've made have shaped me and they've made me, learn a lot. So, yeah.
No, that's big, man. To be honest, I mean, starting from where you come from, I think, how did you start again?
So I basically just started off buying a 3-bed house and turning the dining room into a bedroom.
Yeah.
And living in the property and then renting out 3 of the rooms, living in one of the rooms. And then, I was working in the call center at the time, doing sales.
Yeah.
And then I basically refinanced that property and I used the money to buy my second one. And I just kept going. And I started working with investors and kind of snowballed from there. Then I started doing the joint ventures and stuff. So, yeah.
So I know you've been doing amazing and you told me a little bit about your journey, but tell me a little bit more, like, what were you good at school?
Right, school for me, not the one. Yeah, I didn't really school didn't really work out for me.
Yeah.
I got expelled from school permanently.
Wow.
At like the end of year 10. So I was on track to getting about 11 GCSEs or something like that. And they basically expelled me at the end of year 10. So then I had to go into a PRU.
Yeah.
So school-wise was like 50-50, you know what I mean? Had some good laughs, good times, but I really struggled with the work, and I felt like the teachers made me feel very dumb, made me feel like, oh, you're no good.
Yeah.
You're just rubbish. Like, my confidence was low. I was in like the bottom sets and everything. I just wasn't academic. But then I was always doing little mini businesses at school.
Yeah. So you said one of the, I think you did a podcast where you was breaking down some of them, isn't it?
Yeah. So I was like buying from China in bulk.
Yeah.
So like I'd order these massive pallets full of like, Dr. Dre Beats earphones, School Candy earphones. These were like, at the time, these were really big.
Yeah.
So everyone was wanting them. New era hats, the flat peak hats.
I remember those.
People still wear them, to be fair. So I used to buy like 300, 400 of those at a time. Would buy them like for about £3 and sell them for like £15.
Wow.
So I do that. And I just loved it. I loved the buying and selling, and, and then obviously I did the thing with the whole chocolate bars and sweets thing. I just used to have someone else doing it for me, and then they'll pay me for protection.
Seriously?
Make sure they don't get robbed.
Robbed, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Okay, so what was I good at school was probably like drama. I used to like do drama.
Seriously?
Because I want to be an actor in the future.
Wow.
So if there's any producers watching, put me in your movie. I'd love to do it. But yeah, so I'd say drama and probably like music or just anything creative. I kind of like that.
I see. Yeah. I mean, the shoes, isn't it? So you're quite creative as well.
Yeah. So I run a custom shoe business.
Yeah.
It's early days, but we'll see where it goes. It's called LN Customs. Check it out. We're on Etsy. We've sold over 700 pairs.
That's amazing, man.
So yeah.
Yeah, so go check it out, please. The crepes are serious. Seriously. So then tell me, so you've
recorded? You recording?
Yeah, she's still recording. Okay, cool. So tell me, obviously, you've done quite a lot. You mentioned both the creative side, the entrepreneurial side. So what made you go into property as compared to other things?
Well, initially it was money. I'm always been driven by money. So because I just wanted to change my situation because I was very broke.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't afford like what I wanted. I was working in this call center. The reason I started that position is because I knew it would be good to get mortgages. Because I knew that.
Wow. So you already had something in mind then?
Yeah, that's why I did it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I was working in that call center. It was just literally to have a steady paycheck, decent pay. I was getting about 1,500 a month. So at the time, that was like my best option was to work there 37 hours a week. And it was good for mortgages. So that's why I did it. And then I got my first one whilst I was there, and my second and third. I didn't leave there until I was on about 4 or 5.
Is it?
that's when I left there and I went full-time property.
That's amazing. So how did you then time you leaving your job with your property journey?
Well, what I did was I just staggered it. So like when I was on when I just got my fourth one, I think I went part-time. These are HMOs as well, so the cash flow is obviously good. So I went part-time. I think I reduced my hours in half, and I just loved it because I had so much more time to allocate to property.
Yeah.
But I just thought, right, let me keep hold of this job. So I was coming about £800 a month from the job, and then a couple grand from my HMOs.
Yeah.
So situation completely changed for me, and then when I was on about 5, then I went full-time property.
And do you regret it?
No, not at all. Obviously, there was times where I nearly got wiped out because of a deal what didn't go so well. We just had massive delays trying to refinance it for what it was actually worth.
Yeah.
But we eventually got it done. Actually, no, we ended up selling it. We just thought, right, we can't refinance it for what we want, so we're just going to sell it. So we sold it. Me and my partner both made 10 grand each. But those times I was just going 50-50. So me and this guy went 50-50 on the house. And, me and him had difficulties with that deal. But yeah, long story short, sold it, made 10 grand each, and we just moved on to other deals.
So obviously we stand in your property right now, one of your latest projects. So tell me, what's the strategy behind this property?
This one here was an existing HMO, 6-bed HMO. But the communal area is not that big. We're in the communal area now. It does pass regulations, but the strategy is to try and get planning to do 7-bed with a large extension. So we're waiting on planning permission to come back with a yes or no. And then from there, we'll basically refurbish it or just keep it as a 6-bed.
Yeah.
And then basically when it's done, regardless if it's a 6 or 7-bed, we'll be fully refurbishing it and then refinancing it when it's done for its new value.
I see. So can you explain a little bit about behind, the BRR? Because I know me and you understand it, but for people that might be watching that don't quite understand it.
Yeah. So BRR are buy, refurbish, refinance, rent.
Yeah.
Or buy, refurbish, rent, and then refinance.
For sure.
That's typically how I do it, the second one. So basically buying a rundown property, something you can add value to, and then refinance it for a lot more than what you paid. So that's what we'll be doing on most of my deals. Some of my deals I do just for cash flow. So I'll buy something for a good price because the monthly profit's high. But some of them most of them are BRR type of deals.
So you're able basically to recycle your money.
Yeah.
And basically go to the next one straight away. That's what you did to start with, and you pretty much carry on with the same kind of strategy as well.
Yeah, but you do have to keep funds tied up in the deal most of the time. You're leaving, 30k, 50k, sometimes more in the deal. But when the monthly profit's high on these HMOs, it's worth doing.
Yeah.
And obviously it's life-changing. When you hold these properties, looking to hold them for 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
So that's the plan.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you only leave 50 grand in the house, and you still make a very good profit. I mean, the ROI must be pretty good.
Yeah. Obviously, each deal is different.
Yeah.
But, some of them will buy for cash flow. The ROI might be like, 30%, 25%. So it makes sense just to buy and hold it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That sounds good. And for this one, so did you have a feeling when you walked inside that property, you said, okay, I can see the potential, I'm going to get this one?
Not really, no. I just came in and I was just like, right, what's the numbers? Analysed the deal, looked at the sold comparables. I've seen HMOs 6-bed selling around here for around 500k.
Yeah. Some
for like 450, 460. Obviously, we thought, right, if we can turn this to a 7-bed, we might be able to get it valued at 450, 460, hopefully. We're going to spend around 100k on it.
Yeah.
As a 6-bed, we're going to spend about 75k on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We bought it for 280. So we bought
Seriously?
it for 280.
Wow.
And we're going to spend roughly about 100k on it.
Okay.
And then look to get it valued around 450, hopefully.
And how long do you think this is going to take from start to finish?
Well, this one's in planning permission right now.
Yeah.
And it's had delays on it. So we've owned it for about 3-4 months now. So it's on a bridge, 12-month bridge, but we can always extend it.
Yeah.
But I think we should get a decision back from planning in the next 6 weeks.
Got it.
Build team's ready to go. They'll bash it out in two months, maybe 3 months. So it should be fine. But this deal here was more of a buy and hold. So it's a BRR deal.
Yeah.
It's a BRRR deal, but the area is obviously one of the best areas in Nottingham, West Bridgeford.
Yeah, of course.
Right next to the Forest Football Stadium. So that's why we wanted to get this one, because the long-term growth in this area is typically very good.
Yes.
So that's what we thought. Let's hold it.
That's amazing. And what do you want to say to people maybe that walk into a property and they have a gut feeling? Do you ever go with the gut feeling, or is it always numbers?
It's numbers, man. It's numbers because, you know, obviously I'm a spiritual guy. I believe in God. I pray. And obviously your gut feeling is, you know, I think that's God leading you to certain things. So definitely listen and, you know, feel that energy. But you do need to do the numbers.
Well, 100%.
Because that's what it comes down to. Don't buy off the emotions of the place or what you think it's going to look like when it's done. You need to be, you know, doing the maths on it.
Yeah.
And it's a business at the end of the day. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense.
That's right, completely. I've seen people go into certain deals thinking they would work out. They didn't quite do the numbers quite right.
Yeah.
And you end up being completely chaos.
People fall in love with houses.
Completely.
I've got family members and I've said to them, look, put a low offer in. They're like, it's for me to live in. Yeah, but I'll do it. I'll put a low offer. Anyway, you leave them to it. They go house hunting. They're like, I found something. I love it so much. And I'm like, all right, tell me what's the numbers. That's my first thing. Like, yeah, like it's on for, you know, it's on for 280. I'm like, she's like, I've got it offer agreed. I was like, oh, cool. What at? What at? We're in the best market to buy right now. Oh, 280. I'm like, oh, man, you could have got more off that.
Yeah, completely.
You know, but yeah, that's just people getting emotionally attached to the houses when they should have made a low offer to start with.
For sure.
Not just come in straight with asking, unless there's about 5-6 other people that are trying to buy that exact house and everyone's offering. Then if the numbers stack up, then I'll pay asking price.
Yeah.
But typically, I'm making a low offer.
Yeah. So you've been sharing a lot of wisdom. So top tip, don't be emotionally involved whenever you invest in a property. It's a business and it's all about the numbers. Buy to let or rent to rent?
Buy to let.
Second one, service accommodation or HMO?
HMO.
Why?
I love it. No, you know what it is? I just like the steady income from HMOs.
Yeah.
You pretty much know how much you're going to get per month. I've been knowing this for the last, 6 years since I've been doing property. Obviously, I'm 28 now. Started when I was like 22.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. Started when I was like 22. So I've always known that. But sometimes you get sidetracked and you think, right, I want to get an SA because the numbers can be mad high. The reality is they can be crazy high one month.
And
next month you're breaking even.
Yeah.
So you might make, we had one deal where we was making 2,700 net profit in 1 month from one house. A cheap house as well, it was like a 150k house, making that figure, 2.7k net profit in 1 month. The next month, we broke even. So that's SA. That just shows you how up and down it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, over the year, we might make 500 a month off that house, which is not as good. We probably could have got a HMO for that same price. So yeah, but in a nutshell, I like the HMOs because it's a lot easier to understand how much you're going to get per month.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot more steady. You can forecast a lot better as compared to service accommodation.
Yeah.
And I mean, service accommodation in COVID, what happened to it?
I don't even know. I didn't really have any.
Yeah, no, it was pretty much shut down. A lot of people were giving back the properties, but HMO kept on going.
Yeah.
So that tells you a lot of things about the market.
Recession-proof HMOs.
Completely. I mean, people need housing. It's a little bit like a single let anyway. So number 3, tell me, investor finance or joint venture?
Well, I think it depends on how you structure your joint ventures, but I'm going to go with joint venture.
Yeah.
Because I like to, have a partner on board on deals.
Yeah.
The way I structure my joint ventures is my partners will fund 100% of the deal.
Yeah.
And I'll do all the work from finding it, managing the refurb, managing the property managers on the back end, basically managing the full process from start to finish.
Yeah.
So, and they just put in the money. So I prefer the joint ventures. The reason why I prefer it to the investor finance is because I don't want to take on debt from an investor and have 1 year to pay them back. If I have 20 years, then yeah, cool. But I don't want to do it with 1 year.
Yeah.
I've done it before. It's stressful because sometimes property takes a bit longer than anticipated.
Completely.
A remortgage can drag out by an extra month, 2 months.
Yeah.
Sometimes longer. So sometimes you can't get a remortgage and you have to just sell the property.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be stressful, especially if you've got an investor breathing down your neck.
Mm.
If you've got an investor breathing down your neck, telling you, I need my money now. I need it yesterday. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Whereas with joint ventures, it's more long term.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they know they're putting in the money. It's a long term strategy.
Yeah.
But some people still have the short term mentality. So be careful who you do a joint venture with.
Yeah. Completely. Because some investors might be like, you said 12 months, but actually I want it in 6. And they start breathing down your neck every single second.
Yeah.
And that's not.
Or like you could do a joint venture with someone and they've got unrealistic expectations on what a good deal is.
Completely. I've seen that as well.
That will actually cause you stress as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So just be careful who you're doing a deal with and set the expectation from day one.
Yeah.
Because obviously when you do all money out deals, you show it online, people expect that from you.
Expect that every single time.
But it's not realistic every time.
Yeah, completely. So number 4 now, BRR or like refurb, meaning leaving some money in.
Leaving some money in. What do you mean? Like, do you mean BRR or no refinance?
Yeah, so yeah, pretty much. So BRR refinance or light refurb, but let's say you put your deposit down, you put the light refurb, you leave everything in, as compared to BRR with the refinance afterwards.
Well, it depends on the deal. It depends on the deal because I can't even answer that one. I can't even answer. But in general, BRR, but it depends because it depends on your goals, your capital.
Yeah.
You know, depends what you're trying to do.
So in what kind of situation would you use a BRR and what kind of situation would you use?
Oh yeah. So say if you've got a really small budget of like 50k.
Yeah.
Then I'd say you want to buy something, do a very light refurb. Some people have made the mistake, they've bought a property, they've got a 50k budget, that's all the money they've got in the world, and they've basically said, right, I'm going to do up the whole place for 15 grand.
Yeah.
But realistically, well, it's not realistic.
No, it's not realistic at all. No,
they can't do it for 15 grand.
No, you can't do that.
They've then got themselves in a right mess, and they've said, right, what am I going to do? You know, I've got this house. I thought it was going to cost 15, but it's going to cost me 40.
Yeah.
They're 25 grand short on their budget. So, yeah, if someone's got 50k, I'd say you want to be buying something ready-made for a good price. Or something with a very light refurb. Yeah. Maybe a 3-bed you can turn into a 4-bed.
Okay, so number 5. That's a little bit of a funny one. DIY or get your handyman?
Well, I'm no Bob the Builder, mate. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with get yourself a handyman.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's been great speaking to you. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, learned a lot, and I'm pretty sure that everyone's watching has been learning a huge amount as well. So give me a little bit of a summary on this deal.
Yeah, so this deal here, the main reason why we bought it is because of the location. It's in West Bridgford, next to the Forest football ground.
Yeah.
So long term, we're expecting the property to go up in value a lot over the next 10, 20, 30 years. So that's the main reason why I went for this deal, because my partner that approached me on this deal, his goal is long-term wealth. So we're looking at capital appreciation areas, but his other goal is cash flow. Yeah. So the net profit on this one should be over £2,000 net profit.
That's amazing.
So £1,000 to me and £1,000 to him, or more per month. So that's the other reason why I went for this deal. But in summary, purchase price is 282. Refurb cost roughly 100k, and it's either going to be a 7 or 6 bed HMO. Yeah. End value looking around 420 to 450. So we'll be able to pull out a big chunk of money, probably leave around 60, 70k in the deal. But obviously it's a long-term hold. Yeah, completely. Do you know the ROI when it comes to this deal? I don't know off the top of my head, no. Okay, got it. Depends on what we get it valued at, because it's quite, there's such a range of different values. What we could get 420, could get 380, we could get 470, could get 500. You never know. So depends on what we get it valued at, mate. Completely. Yeah. So what are you planning to do with this house when it comes to floor layout, modification, in order to turn into that 6-bed or 7-bed? Extension, if we go with a 7-bed. Yeah. So we're doing a rear extension, single story. And that will increase the size of the communal kitchen living area. It will be open plan, so it will look really nice. Herringbone floor, nice quality furniture, maybe some wall paneling, maybe come in here and here. So yeah, it will look good. But if we do the 6-bed, then we'll just keep it as it is. We literally it was already a 6-bed HMO when we bought it,
Yeah, you
with a
did say.
license, with planning. So yeah,
Yeah, and it's quite hard to get planning, isn't it, nowadays? Depending on the area, obviously, within Article 4 areas.
yeah. This is a non-Article 4 area,
Mm-hmm.
so the planning wasn't really an issue. But if you want to go more than 6, obviously you have to go in for planning, which is what we're doing.
There's been a lot of questions. Do you believe in complete passive income? What I mean by complete passive income is you getting money, but you're not doing nothing. You never had to do anything.
Well, I would say passive-ish. You know, you can get passive-ish income. So you're not going to have to work crazy hours to get paid. If you just buy a property, ready-made HMO, you could just, the only work required is going to be the initial finding of the deal, getting all the paperwork done for the purchase, paying the money, and then the rest just depends on the management team. Because if it's got really good managers in place already, you know, you might have to send a few back and forth emails, a few decision-making emails of, yeah, I want to increase the rent, I don't. I need you to get, you need to approve some payments. So they'll message you and say, they'll email you and say, right, something's gone wrong in the property. Can we send out our, you know, gas safety guy or whatever? Yes, that's fine. Send. So it can be as passive as just replying to a couple emails once every few months. If you've got good managers in place and you can kick back and get paid. So my ones, most of the time, are like that once they're up and running. However, it's not passive because for the first year and a half, I was finding a deal. I was managing a refurb, which can be a complete headache.
Completely.
I was dealing with building control. I was doing all this work running around, getting the property set up. So for me to say it was passive, it's not at all. But if you're buying ready-made stuff and you've got good managers, then yeah, I'd say passive-ish. There's still some things you have to do.
Completely. So what would you say then to people that don't have enough time? The professionals, they potentially get quite good salaries, but they have no time. How do they go about getting passive income? So you mentioned about buying something completely made. But potentially would mean also leaving quite a lot of money within that deal. Cash flow and appreciation could work. But what would you say?
I mean, even if someone was doing a joint venture with myself or with myself and you, then even that is not completely passive because they still have to do some paperwork.
Yeah, for sure.
Like when we're doing the purchase, they're going to have to like sign things and, you know, for the mortgage, they're going to have to sign for it. So a little bit of paperwork here and there from the partners. But in general, that I'd say is the most passive way of investing in property is find a solid partner or some, you know, solid joint venture partners that you can work with that will basically do all the work. And you can literally kick back, you get updates from them, and you're going to have to sign some paperwork when needed, but the rest, they can leave it to us.
Completely.
I do have partners which enjoy being a bit more proactive. So they do like to try and help me out with things and share their ideas and, you know, but they're doing that more for fun.
Completely, yeah.
They're doing it for fun. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way as well because you avoid making those mistakes that you've made.
Yeah.
And I have made as well.
Yeah.
So completely, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Because that's, I'd say the most passive way is finding a really good joint venture partner and letting them do all the work. You just pay for it and let them crack on. And then you split the profit 50-50. So that's how I'd say.
That's good. So tell me, what's the hardest thing about you doing property development? Is it dealing with the properties or is it dealing with the people?
Properties.
Yeah.
Because I work with whoever I want to work with. If I don't get on with someone, I'm not going to work with them.
Yeah.
Have I had deals with joint venture partners and it's not gone the smoothest? Yeah. But it's helped me with my experience and I've learned a lot from it on how to work with partners. And because what I've learned is if someone's doing a brand new deal and it's their first deal, they can get very stressed.
Yeah.
So now when I'm working with people, that's one of the first questions I ask is tell me a bit about yourself. You know, have you got any experience in property? And then you can also feel out if someone's kind of the stress type. You know, if they're very like uptight and stressed, you kind of know. If someone's chill, having a laugh with you, a joke, and that you can get on well with them, then you know they're going to be a great business partner most of the time. But definitely get to know someone a little bit and, you know, just feel it out. Use your gut instinct to feel out, right, is this person going to be a good partner? Or you know, you have to say no to some people. Some people have come to me and I've said, no, sorry, I can't work with you. And in my head, I know the reasons why. Obviously, I just don't get on with them.
Yeah.
So you have to say no to some people. Can't help everybody, but yeah. So I'd say the hardest is the properties.
Yeah.
Dealing with, you know, any issues, finding solutions. Because as a developer, I think, obviously, I'm not speaking like I'm some big timer, but for me, my experience has been, as a property developer, is you have to be a problem solver.
Completely.
And you just basically every day you're just finding solutions to problems.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's even on the lending side, right? This lender is saying this, cool, right? Let's find a different lender which we can work with. Cool, right? They want this. Okay, we're gonna come back with this. So there's always things to do.
Yeah.
Keeps you on your toes as well.
So for someone that's watching that wants to get started, they're very motivated, they're inspired by what you do. I love what you do. I mean, coming around your projects, etc. is great.
Yeah.
So what would be the best advice that you can give them to get started?
So I'd say the best advice to get started is study. So watch these type of videos, jump on my YouTube channel, got a load of content on there. You know, just try and find good YouTube channels and study those. That's how I learn the best, is through visuals. So through YouTube. Also read some books, listen to audiobooks. Get your mindset right by listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad. That will help you understand about good debt versus bad debt, things like that. I think it's worth doing. There's a good property book called The 44 Property Secrets by Rob Moore and Mark Comer. That's a good one. And yeah, but check out my channel, check out Sad Hussein's channel. Yeah, I can't think of many of. Check out Anthony Leveil's stuff if you want to do bigger deals. You know, there's lots of people. I can't think off the top of my head. Justin Wilkins, good as well. There's lots of different people. So check out YouTube. You know, just consume hella content, and then just work out what you want to do.
Yeah.
And just read books, and you know, just get your mind right. Get your mind right. Just study. Be crazy about it.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be doing 6 months of religiously studying. I'm talking about get obsessive with it.
Yeah.
But that's my personality. I like to go all in on something, or I'm all out.
Yeah.
So for me, I just went all in on property, and I just went crazy with it. Obsession.
Yeah. That's good. Now this is good advice. This is gold. We got to know each other. Some people might be thinking, how does he know Luigi and how does he know Axel? Do you want to potentially give a little bit of a background how we kind of got his the show and what we're looking to do as well?
Yeah. So, you know, myself and you know, we've been looking at a few deals and nothing came of it just yet. But, you know, we were, I guess, open to working with people.
Completely, 100%.
So if anyone's interested, just reach out to yourself and, you know.
Yeah. So if you want to get involved into any of the projects with Luigi or myself, please message me or message Luigi directly, and hopefully we'll be able to work together and get started on some projects like this. But enough talking. We're going to go around the property and Luigi's going to show us exactly what he's doing.